This week's Parshas Vayishlach. Where have all the angels gone? Is going to be the Dvar Torah that I'm going to be working on with you this week. But before we get to that, there are two other major events in the Parsha that I will discuss briefly. I'm sure many other people are going to discuss them at length in their Divrei Torah. The story with Shem and Dinah. Shimon and Levi emerge as the protectors, the avengers for what was done to their sister Dinah. And Yaakov admonishes them for killing out the whole city, that they reacted so aggressively. And like respectful sons, they stood there and they listened until Yaakov finished what he had to say. And then they simply reply, Hakizona nasa et achotenu. Should we let our sister be treated like a harlot? Yaakov doesn't reply, and we move on to the next parsha after that. That Shimon and Levi could do such a thing, and using such a symbolic mitzvah as circumcision, as bris milah, requires a lot of discussion and a lot of understanding, which is not the topic for this Dvar Torah. A little while later, we learn that Rachel dies after she gives birth to Binyamin, Ben Oni. What was the whole purpose of Rachel? Vatikaveya b'derech Ephrata hi Beit Lechem. It seems that Rachel's goal, or purpose actually in life, was to be buried derech Ephrata, Ephrat, Beis Lechem. So that when the Jews return from the exile back to Israel, they will go through this way, and we will hear the words of the prophet, Re'i Rachel, Re'i Banim Shavu Ligvulam. We have returned, and Rachel is laying in Kever Rachel, waiting for this return of the Jews, the Jewish people. Now, those are two main events in the parasha that one could spend the shiurim just on those. But I would like to go back to something that we don't really understand and probably shouldn't try or attempt to understand too much. It's beyond our understanding. If we go back to Bereshis, right away at the beginning of Bereshis, the first parak, it seems that when Hashem says, Nase Adam B'tzalmenu, let us make man in our image. Grammatically, Naase, the nun indicates we. Let us, we, make a person, Adam, B'tzalmenu, according to our look. Who's God talking to? Is he asking permission? Or is he just consulting? But it's very clear that he's talking to something or someone's else. Very perplexing. How could Hashem do this? Why does Hashem do this? Why does he need anybody or anything, this consultation? Okay? It seems that he was talking to the malachim, to the angels. We are introduced to the concept of angels. Now we see throughout Jewish literature, angels, malachim. This week's parsha, Vayishlach Yaakov, malachim elei Savachiv. And Rashi brings down the Medrash Rabbah for the word malachim. He brings down Medrash Rabbah, malachim mamash. He sent angels. Now what does that mean? I mean, was there an angel delivery service at the time, the UPS, that they brought a message to Esav? WhatsApp? Who were these malachim? With Avraham, V'nei shlosha anashim nitzavim alav. All of a sudden, three people pop up in front of him. And these are the angels that are sent, each one with a special job. One to tell Sarah that she's going to get pregnant, one to destroy Sodom, one to save Lot. It's angels. When Sarah demands that Ishmael get exiled, kicked out of his own home by Abraham, who's hesitant to do it, a malach comes to Hagar as she's weeping in the desert and says, Hagar, don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. Here's water. From your son Ishmael, many tribes will emerge. An angel intervenes and talks to Hagar. Okay, after Hagar, Yitzchak. Yitzchak is lying on the Mizbeach. It appears from the Medrash that the Malachim didn't know God's full intent. The Malachim were crying. The angels were crying that Abraham is going to shecht. He's going to kill, in a barbaric way, his son, showing his belief in Hashem. And those tears fell onto Yitzchak's eyes, and according to the Medrash, that's why we have the pasuk that Yitzchak's eyes began to have cataracts. I don't know, but his eyes dimmed. He had trouble seeing, and there were other problems as a result of this Akedah. Yaakov, as we just said, Vayishlach malachim mamush. And then he fights with God, and he says, Vayivga Belohim. He was fighting with God. Yaakov saw God's face, which God tells later on to Moshe, you can't see my face, you'll die. A human being cannot accept that energy that comes out of seeing my face. So we see that the Avos, their immediate family at times, have seen or have dealt with Malachim. Okay? The entire early biblical period in Bereshis, there are Malachim. There are Malachim that destroy Sodom and Amorah. There are Malachim for this, Malachim for that. Who are these angels? Why does God need them? Is there another sphere of power? Is there a consultation group above, a council of angels that Hashem sits and discusses matters with, that he takes counsel from? Very hard to understand. And I'm not going to try. I have researched this topic over the years, and I see that it has been taken over, monopolized by non-Jewish thought from other religions. The angels have wings, the angels can do this, the angels can do that. There are paintings of angels. The whole business with Malachim has been Christianized, and it's very dangerous and unsafe to dwell in this area because, from what I know, if anybody else out there knows different, please advise us. We don't deal much with the issue of Malachim. We don't understand. Why does God need an angel? Why does the angel need wings? Who are the angels? And especially, where have the angels gone since these early biblical times? You don't hear about angels so much or at all with Yosef, with Moshe, with Aaron, with David, and with Shaul. We hear about Nevi'im, Natan HaNavi. We go from angels to Nevi'im, but that's a shmooze separate unto itself. Who are these malachim? Why were they created? There's a big problem with slichus. There's a part, Machnise Rachamim, which our contemporary Chazonim have made into a beautiful, beautiful prayer. But if you read the footnotes in the various slichus, we are cautioned not to say this. Machnise Rachamim, Hachnisu Rachamim Lifnei Melech. Those angels who are in charge of bringing calls of compassion, those angels who are in charge of bringing calls of refuah shleimas, bring my message before God. First of all, that's not a Jewish concept. We have a direct line. We don't need intermediaries. We don't need shlichim. Okay? We have a direct line. And now, Machnise Rachamim, there's an angel for this, an angel for that. This becomes alien, foreign, other religion influence, as is mentioned in the footnotes by the people who make these comments for Slichus. Mimini Michael, Mismoli Gavriel, Hamalach HaGoel Oti Mikol Ra, Hu Yevarech Et HaNa'orim. Who are these malachim? And the truth be told, we really don't know. We really don't know. And so much has been mixed in, even into our own midrashim, from alien thought, that it becomes a topic that most people, certainly myself included at the top of the list, should not dwell in. This is not an area that we should dwell in. It's not an area that we can understand. Hashem Echad, there is one God. He is the one ruler. Okay? He may send the messenger, but to give the messenger wings and spiritual powers and to go in, who is the messenger, why the messenger, that's also, it's not for our minds. Our minds is what it says in the Torah. Our minds is a black Gemara. Our minds is understanding what's in this sphere, what's in this part of the world, and what's in the other part of the world. We can't understand it. Is there a council up there that God counsels with? I don't know. But if he's all powerful, what does he need it for? So I don't dwell there. I don't think we should dwell there. The only message that I would like to convey to you out of this discourse is that it could very well be, that we have been so blinded, we have been so polluted by the environment around us, the tumah, the desecration of Hashem's name, the desecration of the Torah, all kinds of events happening in the world contrary to Torah, contrary to nature, that we have become so blinded that we can't even see them. Perhaps they are in our midst. Perhaps they are. But our faculties are not able to see them, absorb them, understand them. Perhaps sometimes when something amazing happens that's good for the Jewish people, Malachim were there. Behind it, in front of it, we're not capable of seeing it. Hashem should bless us that we should come to an understanding of these and so many other things. Shabbat Shalom, v'Shalom al Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom, and you have to pause. Right away you start already doing something. Say it. Shabbat Shalom and...
Shabbat Shalom, v'Shalom al Yisrael.
No, one more time. Because stop it, because my voice is behind. Look over there and say it and pause.
What's...
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, v'Shalom al Yisrael.
And you can sit still